about the percentage of people in Bangladesh that can read Braille.
I mean, percentage in Cambodia. Is that right?
Yeah.
This is now I can explain my comment I made about the Bangladesh presentation, because the statistics, all the statistics I have seen in Cambodia about that deal with disability, I don't trust any of them. So if someone said, here's from Wasabi, 17% of those who are visually impaired, I would say, how did you collect that information? In speaking with people at Krusok Kamai, according to them, unless you are actually in a school like that, it's 0%. There's absolutely no outreach in the way there was, for instance, with prosthetic limbs, of people going out into areas that they knew were heavily mined with landmines, or areas where you still have a lot of unexploded ordnance and remnants from even the Vietnam War that still kill people. In terms of who reads Braille, you have to be at a school, an institution like Krusok Kamai, where they have facilities to teach it, and you can learn it at Krusok Kamai, which is their education program is actually very high end. In fact, it's often better than some of the other schools around the area. And so if you are there, in terms of developing Khmer Sign Language, in terms of learning Braille, it's 100% if you're at the school. And the school does not charge. The school is run, again, by outside funding. So to be honest, I wouldn't know. I'd have to figure if the question is what percentage of persons who are visually impaired and could benefit from access to the Braille software or even from learning Braille versus those that actually have access to it, I don't know. And I haven't seen any statistics that were collected in Cambodia that I would trust, even a little bit. So I don't know. I can say in a generalization that it is a woefully low percentage of those who could benefit from all this kind of assistive technology or just learning Braille versus those who actually get to learn it. It's woefully low. Long way to go in Cambodia. Any last questions? There's one.
Peter Usman again from the UW Rehab. Interested in your perspective to follow up on the HIV/AIDS, and even our own Department of Global Health here at the University of Washington is very centered on infectious disease, HIV/AIDS, working on malaria, clean drinking water, diarrheal diseases, things that are just killing thousands and thousands of people around the world. So how do we compete in a low-resource environment around the world to get disability really at the top of people's list and not second after all these other issues that are going on in global health?
What was the doctor? Yeah, I mean, this is a question not only in relationship to what Joji brought up about HIV/AIDS versus disability. Part of it is time frame. Many people, as this point, the HIV/AIDS, you see it there on paper. The idea is cure or no cure. Do you have one yet? Let's work for it. With things like assistive technology and cognitive and physical disabilities, this is a generational process. Will this educational program work? And I'm sure you know this very well. In the world of funding, in the world of science, things that take a generation easily get pushed to a back burner or something that's, did we get this result? In Cambodia, for instance, it's the autism campaign set up by Hager International and the World Autism Network, just starting January 2010. This is totally uncharted territory. In the context of Cambodia, for instance, if you're dealing with cognitive disabilities, even the vocabulary is not there except for usually foreign-trained, a very small community of doctors. HIV/AIDS, everyone in Cambodia knows. There's campaigns everywhere. You say HIV/AIDS in Khmer, anything, it was like, I got it. There's posters everywhere. But for instance, there is no distinction yet in common parlance in Cambodia between things like autism. There's just nothing regarding things like ADHD. I mean, there's no vocabulary. It's all just those people are different. And that's all you've got. And so what you've got here is HIV/AIDS it's for better or worse, it's tangible. Here's this disease, it's an infectious disease, and it can kill you. All these other things, even given this context in which you have a cultural environment that tends to lump everything together into horrible words, useless, these kinds of things. You're battling with not just Do we have the funding to introduce assistive technology? You're battling with an environment in which people are saying, what's the point? Nobody's saying, what's the point of HIV/AIDS? People are saying, wow, it can kill me, let's do something with that. So I don't want to use the word cultural engineering because it sounds a little fascist, but you are talking about really re-engineering your mindset. And even in those 3 cities, when they have Phnom Penh and Battambang, it's an uphill challenge. In rural areas, it's a generation way before people are going to be willing to say, oh, now I get what disability means. I always thought it was just the color. HIV/AIDS doesn't have to suffer from that. It's a very easy thing to comprehend, and therefore it's easy to do public relations campaign. It's easy to say, was that campaign effective? This is a country, going back to my first comment, in which there are still people who are convinced that the genocide took place between 1975 and 1979. You can go to villages where over half the people will not believe it ever happened. So lack of information. So anything beyond, here's HIV/AIDS, it's deadly, beware, it's tough. So it's a long-term commitment, and it takes NGOs and government workers. There's one person in Parliament, so true, there's one person in Parliament who is the champion of human rights and disability rights in Cambodia. That's one person. She's kind of the public face, and that's it. So anyway, we can talk more, I'm sure, when we have talk.
I just want to follow up on that because there's been some groups I've been talking with in DC that do have the largest funding streams, either HIV/AIDS or infectious disease from USAID, and USAID is spending a lot of energy trying to mainstream disability into their existing programming. And that's both in how they put out their RFPs and how they, the criteria they use to evaluate proposals. And so that's another approach that NGOs are looking at, is really trying to adapt their existing programming so that it's inclusive. Of course, that's, sometimes worst case scenario, that just means, changing how you're reporting, so you add disability category, and best case scenario, it's very comprehensive in looking at how to include people with disabilities, the technology aspects, information, multiple formats for health campaigns, that type of thing. Thank you very much. We're going to actually take a